Great morning, holy brothers and sisters, on this wonderful wintry Wednesday of March 21st. It is the 5th of Nisan. We are in the Kitzur Likutei Moharan, and today's lesson we are calling Triangular Tribulations. There are numerous kinds of false grace that people affect in the way they stand, the way they eat, the way they speak with other people, and so on. Each activity has its own particular brand of false grace or posture. A person becomes trapped in this false grace when he does not guard himself sufficiently against the desire for vain beauty, since these two things, false grace and this desire, are interconnected, as expressed in the verse, grace is deceptive and beauty is vain. Ibid 31:30. Furthermore, as a result of this desire, a person falls to penury, as it is written, do not desire beauty in your heart, since on account of a harlot, one will ultimately lack even a loaf of bread. Ibid 6:25-26. This is also the meaning of the verse, wealth is diminished by vanity. 13:11. That is, through the desire for the vanity of beauty, a person's wealth is thereby diminished. The sense of awe or fear of God, on the other hand, is the antithesis of all this. And it is written, grace is false and beauty is vain, but a God-fearing woman is worthy of praise. Ibid 31:30. Thus, through fear of God, a person is saved from the desire for false grace and vain beauty, which bring one to penury. Instead, he merits by his own agency holy wealth, which is the prerequisite for attaining Torah contemplation. The intellect's ability to attain contemplation as it should primarily depends on the moisture and the oils found in the body. Physical lust and the desire to enjoy vain beauty interrupts one's breathing, and breathing is the main source of a person's vitality. As a result of this disturbance in a person's breathing, the body's moisture dries up and the ability of the mind and the intellect to contemplate is impaired. Accordingly, all madness is caused by physical lust, as is known. The same thing applies to people who are not actually insane, but who are affected by some serious lack or disturbance in their mental emotional states. It is all brought on by physical lust, which dries up the moisture and oils in the body and in turn spoils the mind. Complete fear or awe of God is comprised of three components, each of which contains three constituent parts. The first component is the awe of heaven that is attained by contemplation of the greatness of the Creator using one's wisdom, analytical power, and knowledge, which are the three upper sephiros we know of Chachma, Bina, and Da'as. All three aspects of a person's mental faculties should be replete with fear and awe of God. The second component of awe is reverence for one's Rav, rabbi, which is gained through the learning a person receives from his Rav, his rabbi's teacher. Here too, a person must extend this fear into all three constituent parts of his Torah study, since the Torah is described as a threefold teaching from Shabbos 88a. The third component of awe is reverence for one's father and mother, and a person must extend this fear too out into the aspect of a house and wealth are his inheritance from his parents, from Proverbs 19:14. In other words, a person must let fear and awe of God infuse his wealth in all three of its constituent parts, which are his inheritance from his parents, as delineated in the teaching. A person should always divide his capital into three parts. He should invest a third in land, a third in business, and the third he should retain in his own hand. From Baba Messiah 42a. We should all be blessed to keep our faculties straight and our bodies and our hearts and our minds in the right places in order to connect to God, have not only physical health, but emotional health and spiritual health as well. Thank you so much for learning together, and God willing, we'll learn again tomorrow.